Today we're going to be talking about finding an Internet of Things device to help dementia sufferers. So what we're going to be going through is who this is about, the people, activities, contexts and technologies, use cases, information architecture, and also the design. In terms of people, activity, context, and technologies, what we're looking at here is we're looking at two key stakeholder areas. We have the carer and the family. Now these are younger people who will be looking at where the patient is going. And then we also have the sufferer or the patient who has dementia. Now, it's important to note that these are two very key, they're very different backgrounds. So the sufferer of dementia they're generally elderly people who have dementia. Their background may be an immigrant one, less educated and not necessarily familiar with technology. So it needs to be really targeted at a very basic analog sort of device. And for the people who are watching where that data is, we have sort of younger people who would be familiar with swipes and things like that. The activity itself is really just looking at tracking the patient where they go. And the complexity around that is different depending on who's using it. So the person who's using the device itself, it should be quite simple. It really should just be wearing that device at all times and just tracking them where they go. In terms of the context, with the tracker, it needs to be able to be used in a home and an outdoor situation. In the social context, it needs to be okay for them to wear around people. And there is definitely a large social element to that. And for the technologies, we're looking at something to work out where they are. And for the data to be seen, we're looking at probably a screen or something, most likely a mobile app and possibly a web app. In terms of our use cases, we have 5. So the most important ones, we have the ability to add a geofence, so a fence that if they cross, an alert will be sent out. We'll have mobile web alerts. So these are alerts in terms of actually getting that alert out and how that might work. We also have the AI geofence. Now this is pretty important because this is what really sets this product apart. So wherever the patient is, if they're not quite where they'd normally be, then an alert or different alerts will go out to them, to the people that they need to go out to. Number 4, we're looking at alerts from the device itself, so battery alerts or if the device fails. And 5 is the administration of the device. So in terms of information architecture, we have 4 key areas. We have the geofence, the AI geofence. Now they're just circles. The device itself, so the location as well as the status of the device, the notifications, so who they're being sent to, but as well as that, different types of notifications will have different areas. So for example, an email will have a CC, and also the authentication of the user. Turns out our Azure diagram, the 2 most important areas here are the event hub. So if a notification needs to be sent out, then the event hub will send it, and also the machine learning. So that runs over the databases to work out where it should be. So in terms of the app mock-up, what we're looking at here is we sign in. So this is our geofence and being able to place a geofence. So the key screens here are number 4, you'd be able to see how there's already one there over the home. So you could edit that, you could change the time of that. You could also delete it or remove it or, or redraw it. So in terms of that, this would be changing the time, placing it, and then we have we have a key. Now for our notifications, slightly different. So the AI notifications, we've got the different percentages, but we've also got different notifications and how they can be set because they are fundamentally different mediums of getting through, but you can also turn them off, and that's really important because there'd be nothing worse than turning off the notifications because you just get annoyed by them because there's too many of them. This is going over a geofence, very similar to the AI, except that there's just an alert notification. And finally, we have device notifications. So battery, device failure, and out of range. You could use define battery percentages, but also custom notifications for any of them. So thank you very much for listening